speakers to join me behind the podium. We're going to get started. Well, thank you all for joining us for this very exciting announcement. Today, we'll be announcing and unveiling the plans for the next 2 years of the Ready Keiki initiative. That's the state's plan to expand universal access to early learning in preschool. We'll have 4 speakers today, followed by Q&A. We'll go in order of RSVP. So to begin, I'd like to introduce Lieutenant Governor Sylvia Luke.
Good afternoon and aloha. Mahalo for everyone being here. I especially wanted to point out some important legislators who are in the room. It's Chair Woodson, Chair of the House Education Committee, Senator Donna Kim, and Representative Ikaika Hasi. These partners have been critical in where we are today. If it wasn't for legislative partnership, if it wasn't for the partnership of the School Facilities Authority, if it wasn't for the partnership of the Department of Education, if it wasn't for the partnership of Executive Office of Early Learning, and of course, if it wasn't the partnership without the principals' help, we wouldn't be here. And so big mahalo to every single one of the principals, administrators who are willing to think about our next generation of learners. Today, we are here to announce the next group of preschools that will be open. We launched the Ready Keiki initiative just a little over 2 years ago in January 2023 with a collective bold vision, which is to give every child in Hawaii access to preschool by the year 2032. And that was something that Chair Woodson, Senator Kim, along with myself when I was in the legislature, it was a vision set collectively by all of us. And it is that mandate and that vision that we are here to accomplish. When we think of expanding access to preschool, it's a multifaceted approach. It means opening public preschools, expanding financial aid for childcare, and also, very important, creating opportunities for our early learning workforce. The state's public pre-kindergarten program is a key component of Ready Keiki. Over the next 2 years, we'll open 50 new classrooms, public preschool classrooms, statewide, including 25 this coming August. And we are here because this is one of the classrooms that will be opening. This year, in fact, we'll have even more of a milestone, and Yuko, who is with the Executive Office of Early Learning, will be talking about that. This year, we'll be opening public preschools, 100 public preschool classroom. That is something collectively we are very proud of. These classrooms are in communities where the need is greatest. 21 out of the 25 opening in August will be Title I schools. And several in rural areas across Oahu and the neighbor islands. In fact, thanks to the leadership of Yuko, we are opening 2 additional Hawaiian immersion classrooms right here on the west, in the windward side in Hauula and in Hana. Those will be 2 additional to the 2 that are already in place. All of this is possible, and only possible because we've approached this expansion with strategy and intention and extensive planning. Renovation have come in well under budget, and this is something that the legislature should be very proud of, as opposed to our initial estimate of $1 million per classroom, thanks to the work of the School Facilities Authority and many of our partners who are here, including Bowers and Kubota. Classroom average at about $300,000. That means we can try to build more classrooms out of the funds that have been allotted generously by our legislators. With Ready Keiki, we're opening free public schools in communities that have never had them before. For instance, we've opened one in south side of Maui in Kihei. We opened one in the north side of Maui in Haiku. And that's something that Chair Whitson should be very proud of, something that's happening on his island. On Kauai, we have a public preschool in 6 out of 9 elementary schools, a significant thing in communities on Kauai. In fact, right here in Kalihi, we have opened several. Right here in Kalihi, the other area that we opened a significant amount of preschool is in our leeward side, in the Waianae and Nanakuli areas. That is something that we should all collectively be very inspired and proud about. In fact, we even opened one on the very west side of Molokai at Mauna Loa. And when I take a look at some of these preschools in very remote communities, these are the communities that need our attention. For instance, Pauilo is about an hour, at least an hour drive from Hilo, and there's a preschool in Pauilo. In Naalehu, which is over an hour drive from Kona, there is a preschool now in Naalehu. And thanks to everyone's collective efforts, even in communities that have not gotten the deserved attention, is now getting the attention that they deserve. And it's to help every keiki, every student, every family, every community thrive, whether you are right here in urban Honolulu in Kalihi, or out in Nanakuli, or at Kekaha, or at Nahalehu. And we want to ensure that we serve as many keiki and early learners as much as we can. Again, mahalo to Executive Office of Early Learning, mahalo to Department of Education, mahalo to SFA, mahalo to many of the Ready Keiki partners, mahalo to the legislators. Together, this is what it's about. It's the right people, right grouping, the right time coming together to do the right thing for our future. Mahalo for being here.
Thank you, LG. Our next speaker will be Yuko Arikawa Cross, Director of the Executive Office on Early Learning.
Aloha, thank you everyone for being here. It's a very exciting day for Hawaii's families and for the future of early learning in Hawaii. We're happy to announce that 25 new EOEL public pre-kindergarten classrooms are set to open this fall across our islands, creating 500 new seats for children who are in their 2 years prior to kindergarten. This is a significant step forward, creating even more opportunities for Hawaii's families to access high-quality early learning right in their communities. A key benefit of our new public pre-K classrooms is that they are free of charge. This ensures that high-quality early education is accessible to all, without the added financial burden that can often be a barrier for many. This expansion provides a dual benefit to Hawaii's workforce. It empowers more families to return to work, continue their education, and pursue career opportunities, knowing that their children are in safe, nurturing learning environments. It also actively creates new jobs by increasing the demand for qualified teachers and educational assistants to staff these classrooms. EOEL currently supports the Early Childhood Educator Stipend Program that has attracted over 150 participants since 2023, leading to over 60 completers currently in the workforce. If you're interested in joining the field of early learning, please visit our website at earlylearning.hawaii.gov and apply for the fall term before July 15th. This expansion isn't just about adding classrooms. It's about thoughtfully addressing real needs of our working families. This phase will reach communities from Lihue to Makaha, to Hau'ula to Hana, and Kia'au to Kiaukaha. Our goal is to ensure that access to early learning is equitable across our state. This phase of expansion includes the opening of EOEL's 100th pre-K classroom. In 2022, EOEL had 34 schools with 37 classrooms. And with this expansion, EOEL will now have 89 schools with 117 classrooms. There are so many people, many of them here, that have been a part of this collective effort, and it's a powerful reminder of how far we've come in expanding access to early learning across Hawaii. Each new classroom represents more than just a space. It represents a brighter future for Keiki and a stronger foundation for Hawaii. We are building a system that supports our children, that empowers our families, and strengthens our communities. Thank you so much for everybody who's been a part of the work and for everybody else who's a supporter as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Yuko. Our next speaker will be Heidi Armstrong, Deputy Superintendent of the Department of Education.
Hi, good afternoon. It is truly a special moment for our school community, and it's an honor to be here today to support the Ready Keiki initiative and celebrate the next chapter in expanding preschool access in Hawaii. The Department of Education is deeply committed to ensuring every child in Hawaii starts their learning journey with a strong foundation. And being ready for kindergarten isn't just about letters and numbers, but it's about giving our children the social, emotional, and cognitive tools that they need to thrive. We know from decades of research and practice that early childhood education is one of the most effective practices to set students up for long-term success. And when children begin their formal education in a setting that nurtures their development, supports their families, builds their confidence, they are better prepared not just for kindergarten, but for life. And so this investment in early learning is an investment in the future of our communities. I want to especially thank the school principals and teams who are welcoming these public preschool classrooms to their campuses. Taking on a new classroom requires thoughtful planning and deep commitment, and it is their leadership that ensures our youngest learners are surrounded by care, structure, and opportunity. The Department of Education is a proud partner in Ready Keiki, and together with EOEL and Lieutenant Governor Luke, we look forward to expanding public preschool access and building a bright future for all of the children in Hawaii. Thank you.
Thank you. And our final speaker will be principal of our host, Kalihi Elementary School, John Hamilton.
Aloha, everybody. Thank you for being here today and joining us at Kalihi Elementary School. When I was given the opportunity to enroll our school in the EOEL preschool program, I couldn't help but say yes. 90% of our families are challenged financially. And so because of that, often preschool is out of reach. Having a public preschool here at Kalihi Elementary is a wonderful opportunity for our families, especially for parents. They have the opportunity to return to the workforce. They have a peace of mind knowing that their most precious thing in this world, their children, are receiving a high-quality public education at such an early age. But when you see the impact that early learning has on children, the ability to be independent, the ability to love learning alongside their peers, being in a language-rich environment, it has the power to change their life, change their trajectory. Here at Keiki Elementary, one of our core values is ulupono, which means to grow well. And we can't help but think that for our earliest learners, our preschoolers, it's like planting a seed. Providing them with the right environment, they're going to thrive. And when they enter kindergarten, not only are they going to be more confident, they're going to be more successful because they have this background knowledge. And they're better equipped to navigate not just classroom, but all aspects of school, social aspects, the emotional aspects as well. Our goal here is not only to invest in our children, in our keiki, but be able to support them and ensure that they thrive in elementary school, middle school, high school, and beyond. And we're happy to do our part here at Keiki Elementary to be part of their journey and strengthen our community, which is our school's vision. And it's not very often that schools get to live their vision, but I'm confident that we're going to be able to do just that here at Keiki. So once again, I just want to say mahalo to everyone who is part of this process of establishing EOEL preschool here at our school. I want to say mahalo to Lieutenant Governor for giving our community this opportunity as well. And thank you guys for joining us here on our campus. And we hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Mahalo.
Thank you to all our speakers. We'll now move to the Q&A portion. Our first media is KITV. Question. 100th EOVL public pre-K classroom. Correct. So I'll let you go from EOEL answer, but the question is just clarification on what the 100th preschool classroom will be and the 50 that are opening, adding to the existing inventory.
Thank you for asking. So currently we have 92 classrooms, so adding this cohort of 50, but 25, especially this upfront year, will bring us to 117. So somewhere in the mix is our 100th classroom. Mm-hmm.
So the total amount that you receive from the legislature for this opening universal preschool by 2032 is how much?
Are you talking about this over time, or
Just what's the budget we have for it?
a little over 8 million recurring?
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Our advertiser. Also, the question is what kind of community outreach or recruitment is doing for enrollment for eligible keiki, and
Thank you for the question. We are aware that there are many pockets, especially our priority pockets of our communities, that do not access information in this way. So one of the things that EOEL has been very proactive on is visiting different communities. So we go to each county. We've gone to each island. We have a school actually on every island, and so we do coordinate with county coordinators. We do part of the Ready Keiki initiative. The Ready Keiki initiative is comprised of many partners, and each of the partners also helps to let families know about different opportunities that are available to them. And we are available. We continue to do outreach, and if anybody has anything that they'd like to invite us to, we'd be willing to come out to that as well.
yes, and those partners can be seen here on this banner for reference, or readykeiki.org as well. Next would be Hawaii News Now. Question is about staffing and workforce and how many more might be needed to fill the need of these preschool classrooms.
So the EOEL public pre-K is just one of the many, the broad aspect of early learning. So across the entire early learning field, there's a lot of workforce that's needed. For the EOEL public pre-K, each room is staffed with one teacher and one educational assistant. So those individuals must meet the qualifications as set by the Department of Education as well as our statute. Interestingly, we were very, very focused on teacher shortage last year. And we were pushing really hard on the teacher shortage portion. And it actually turned out to not be the area of need for us specifically last year. And it was actually our educational assistants. And so just really trying to work with principals to understand the requirements of educational assistants, to understand what a person would need to do to be able to become eligible to become an educational assistant in an EOEL public pre-K. And then our workforce development specialist has been holding special sessions for people who are interested in that kind of work. And then, of course, us promoting our early childhood educator stipend program. There is a complementary effort that has been supported by Kamehameha and Chaminade, the Mu'o Scholarship, that has been doing really excellent in terms of recruiting teacher workforce. So I would say most principals are able to find someone. They may need additional requirements to fully satisfy the requirement, but they are on track to make progress. So for example, for a typical educational assistant in the Department of Education, they can have a high school degree and also pass a certain assessment or have certain number of college credits. One thing that EOEL asks is that they have early childhood coursework. And so we may have eligible education assistants who may need to finish the coursework. And so we're just supporting people and trying to finish the coursework. Thank you.
Any follow-up questions? From KITV, asking if the budget is dependent on federal funding.
So currently the Executive Office on Early Learning Public Pre-K is 100% state funded. Of course, if there impacts the federal budget, it would impact the whole state's budget. I don't know how that would play out. We don't really know that yet. One area that is connected to EOEL and the federal budget is our Head Start. And so we are also monitoring and watching for our Head Start programs in Hawaii. So I would say, except for 3 schools that are in pretty remote areas, all of the seats are filled. I will let you know that schools, we ask schools to hold a couple of seats at each of their sites because there may be children who are in process, whether they are children who are receiving special education services or who may be experiencing unstable housing. So we hold some seats because we know that families may appear throughout the school year.
Okay, if there aren't any more follow-up questions, that concludes the Q&A portion, and I'll turn it back to Lieutenant Governor to make some closing remarks.
Thank you again. Thank you for being here. I neglected to recognize the very important folks on the Early Learning Board. The Early Learning Board, along with the School Facilities Board, these are volunteers, and they volunteer because they care about our keiki as much as every one of us. Going back to some of the questions, I want to go back and thank the legislature. The legislature initially committed about $200 million to build many of the classrooms that we see here. This past year, the legislature generously put in another $20 million to build more preschools. What we're seeing right now is just kind of part of a bigger plan to build out preschools. Thanks to the work of the School Facilities Authority, we are looking at non-school facilities to open preschools, whether it is at libraries, whether it's in conjunction with affordable housing, it's in conjunction with the city and county of Honolulu, with many of the county partners. They are doing very innovative things to open a lot of preschool seats. You know, I can't thank the legislature enough. For us, the Ready Keiki partner, in order to be successful, this initiative to be successful, it's not just about public preschools, it's about public preschool and maintaining the seats on the private sector. And it is also about ensuring that we have the workforce we need. So far, we've been very lucky that both Yuko and many of the principals have been able to get the workforce. But thanks to the University of Hawaii, thanks to Shamana, they've been doing a very terrific job in recruitment. So again, it's a collective effort, and it goes without saying that every child is so important. And just because there's no preschool by their house or where the parents live, or the parents cannot send their kids to preschool, that shouldn't be a barrier for kids to succeed. And it's our collective responsibility to ensure that every child succeeds. And so mahalo for everyone. Mahalo for everyone's efforts.
Thank you. This concludes today's press conference, but we would like to invite all of our Ready Keiki partners to take a photo. Thank you.